In 2012, Lil B, also known as the BasedGod, released an 855-song mixtape composed entirely of freestyles which he dubs Based Freestyles. And to my surprise, over a decade later, no one has released any sort of review of the entire mixtape, outside of a few forum posts here and there. So I thought, wow, it's pretty rare in 2023 to find something that no one has done yet. And odds are, out of 855 songs, there have got to be some bangers, right? More on that later. Now, just calling Lil B prolific would be a massive understatement. He's released literally thousands of songs over the internet as early as the MySpace days, and is still releasing more mixtapes to this day. But since most people wouldn't want to sift through this many hours of freestyle, I went ahead and listened to the entire thing in the hopes of finding some enjoyable tracks and presenting my top picks. Other than based, I guess the best way to describe his style would be postmodern. It's missing fundamentals like song structure, flow, and even coherent lyrics while still carrying enough confidence to light up a room. However, critics are quick to point out that most of his songs are either trolling, or meme music, or just straight up bad by any objective standard.
15 bitches at my house, it ain't over. You could fuck my bitch, she is not a whore.
Okay, so to keep track and also force myself to pay attention, I've devised a sort of rating criteria from 1 to 10. First, how good is the beat? Next is the vocals, which is like flow, delivery, and audio quality. Then we have lyrics, even though most of his songs don't have lyrics posted because nobody bothered to post them. But that's okay, you can clearly make out what he's saying most of the time. I went ahead and threw in humor there too. And then replayability, which is like, how much do I want to play this song again? Highlighted in green is the only one that actually matters. The other ones are just there for flavor. It's just how much I enjoyed the song, and it's not an average of the others or anything like that. And finally, most of the time, I'll put a snarky comment or the first thing that comes to mind at the end there. Alright, the first thing I should mention is that this mixtape only has 729 songs. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't relieved when I realized that, but I did do some digging and was able to find the entire 855 song track list. However, I decided not to include the rest of the songs because the YouTube playlists, the iTunes store where you can actually buy them, and the Spotify albums all have 729 songs. So, in my opinion, that's the official number. Even if back in 2012 there was a giant file ready to download with all 855 songs intact. I'm not going to change the title though, because it's literally called 855 Based Freestyle Mixtape, even if there's not 855 songs. I know it's not really fair to compare these freestyles to regular songs that have much more thought and production value behind them, but at the same time, I didn't want to give out any pity points because the whole point is to find the ones that can compete with actual songs. For context, a 5 is around neutral, so maybe there's like 1 or 2 things I like about it, but it's generally not enough to make the cut. And from there, we kind of just go up or down depending on how I'm feeling. These are obviously very subjective and biased, and I even noticed that I was a little more generous at the beginning before I got used to the gist of it. I tried to be as consistent as possible, but I think subconsciously, the more songs I listened to in one setting, the more exhausted I would be going into the next one. The most freestyles that I indulged in one day was like 60 or 70, and I had to take a week off after that because I was starting to hear Lil B in my dreams. Guess I'm just not based enough. Okay, let's get right down to it. Most of these songs are about smoking blunts while getting money and or bitches, which I don't even know if Lil B had that big of a following back around 2010, which is when a lot of these were recorded. But he would strike me as the type of guy who could confidently boast about his bitches at any status. In fact, he raps about bitches so much that I was starting to question whether he actually had bitches or not. Oh wait, never mind. Okay. On the other hand, a significant amount of these freestyles consists of him giving a motivational speech, or just rambling his stream of consciousness in a slow and relaxed pace. In these types of songs, he often references based world as a sort of nirvana-like aspiration and tends to preach positivity and generally wholesome messages that may or may not be incoherent. This is a striking contrast to his plethora of more aggressive songs where he either goes off on his haters or just repeats the proverbial phrase, bitch, suck my dick, yeah. There's also a few songs that are basically skits with Lil B playing multiple characters, so you can definitely see in which songs he's channeling more of his BasedGod alter ego and which ones he does more as Lil B. Brandon McCartney. And then you have the miscellaneous subset of songs that can really be about anything. There's a bunch of futuristic freestyles where he raps about based robots, and others where he'll just sing over a mainstream song. He's actually got a pretty eclectic music taste and won't hesitate to freestyle over anything, from Japanese ambient instrumentals to video game soundtracks to the United States national anthem. He'll also occasionally have other rappers feature on his freestyles, and those are the ones that usually sound the most normal. I should mention that most of these freestyles are at least as lengthy as your typical song, with some even going up to 6 minutes. I think the average song length is around 3 to 4 minutes, which can be a good or bad thing, usually bad, But above all, it's just really time consuming to listen to the whole thing, and I don't think anyone except the most hardcore Lil B fans would even try. And me. What is considered a freestyle has sort of changed over the years, from pre-written and memorized rhymes that are simply free of style and structure to the more common interpretation of just improvising on the spot, and then back to pre-written lyrics that might come from an unreleased track. In one of these songs, Lil B does throw shade at these fake freestylers, and I could vouch that his freestyles are definitely not pre-written, because a lot of them don't really make any sense. Though it's remarkable how there's absolutely no hesitation whenever he rhymes a word with the same word or unravels his stream of consciousness to a guitar string and 2 notes from a flute. But I don't want to be too harsh on Lil B. After all, freestyling off the top is hard. Only a few rappers can do it quickly while still sounding eloquent. A lot of them use expletives as filler lyrics to buy themselves time to think, and Lil B is no exception. Some of these fillers he likes to use in literally any context are 100,000 going 1880, 8 Ewan, no idea what that means, Captain 66, the word bitch, telling people to suck his dick, Lil B for Little Boss, being from West Berkeley, Waterfront, B-Town, 7th Street. Prang-ta-tang-tang. Yes! And there's also a running joke where every time he says swag, he says he doesn't like using that word. Yeah, this is the same guy who brought you the hit sensation Swag Like Ohio. Originally, when I started this idea, I was going to rank the top 10 songs, but after I got around halfway through, I knew there was no way I was going to find 10 songs good enough to make the list, so I cut it down to 5. And even after I finished, I only had 4 songs in mind, so I went back to the ones that I was on the fence about, listened to them again, and one of them kind of grew on me. Honestly, that kind of scares me a bit, so without further ado, here are the best songs that I can come up with in this absolute monster of a mixtape. Okay, so we have some technical difficulties. I thought the list would be done by now, and I can't make it go any faster. Well, I can, but I would have to take the clip out and speed it up and export it again, realign the audio, and I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. This is already at 4 times speed. I've already exported it, sped it out twice, because iMovie only lets you do it 2 times. I'm doing this whole thing on my phone, so I have to adjust the resolution with my fingers, and it's a miracle that the pixel quality is still readable after all that exporting of a screen recording of a screen recording. So I'm sorry, it is not happening. It is not happening. iMovie sucks, by the way. Don't use it. I am not sponsored. If you look to your left, you can see that all the song titles are written verbatim. And can you imagine if someone was like, "Hey man, what's your favorite song?" "Oh dude, it's gotta be What That Mouth Do by Lil B." Speaking of which, this dude has what I would call a borderline obsession with fellatio. And okay, I shouldn't judge. Maybe it's an industry thing. But it was funny for like the first 200 times, but by the 500th mention, I was sort of like zoning out, And hey, if you're still watching, let me know what album you'd like me to review next. I won't do it, but at least it would let me know that another human has watched this video. Oh, here we go. Okay, top 5.
Yeah, it's your boy Lil B. Crush manage me.
Coming in at number 5, we have I'm Geeked Up, where Lil B is freaking geeked out of his mind. Whatever that means. Usually when he freestyles to an actual song with vocals instead of an instrumental, it's not a very good duet, and he ends up getting outperformed by the background singing. But this one is one of his better performances for sure. He does the entire song in this Valley Girl voice, which I normally am not a big fan of because, oh my god, it's super terrible. But I think it works really well here. The layered in background vocals with the song as a backdrop really harmonize with each other, and it's just a feel-good song. I think. What's better than fantasizing about being Bill Gates while sitting in your car with money in the bank? It's the little things in life. You don't even need money or a car. Just the fantasy itself is what keeps us going. It's a little too long though, relatively speaking. 5 minutes? Come on. Not that geeked.
Yes, I'm geeked. Yes, I'm geeked. Sport Lil B, base freestyle in New York City.
Originally from his I'm Thrax album and the 4th best song on this mixtape, Go Too Dumb. This funky Fresh Prince of Bel-Air type beat has Lil B come out of the gates swinging and loudly proclaiming what he and his establishment does. There's a line at the beginning where I thought he was like, "Bass freestyling, bitch, I'm not high." You better take him seriously because he's not high for this one. But what he actually said was, "I'm not hollering, which isn't as funny, but kinda makes more sense given that smoking them blunts is referenced later. There's also a part towards the end, in the midst of going as hard as he is, where he laments not going to prom and missing out on being voted best dressed of all things. So, life lessons from Lil B: go to prom, folks. Yes, it costs a lot of money and it's not really worth it in any way whatsoever, but at least you can say you went. And if you don't go, you might end up like Lil B. Well, actually,
Oh my god, I'm in here 100%. Yeah, it's your boy Lil B. I'm bass freestyling, yeah.
the number 3 pick, Booty to the Flow. With a special treat, Lil B dons a Jamaican accent for this one. Supported by this jungly reggae style beat with an absolutely killer chorus. I honestly don't know where he got it because I sure couldn't find it. I mean, this is an infectious dance number. Even though I don't think this is the best that Lil B has to offer, it is my personal favorite in terms of replayability. I'm not gonna lie, the chorus does carry most of this song, but Lil B puts on an Oscar nomination-worthy performance himself. His delivery of lines like, "Oh my god, she's a nasty bitch," suggests that he might have bit off more than he can chew. My favorite part is when he's trying to find a word that rhymes with rugby, and the chorus just cuts him off before he can do it. Yeah, this one is definitely a guilty pleasure. What could possibly top it?
Oh my god, BasedGod, what are you doing? Why are you getting sucked up in public?
At number 2 we have BasedGod, What Are You Doing? Using the instrumental from Linkin Park's hit single Numb, or more precisely, it's the collaboration version with Jay-Z. Yeah, I do my research. Lil B takes this emotional and angsty tune and turns it into a freestyle where he is confronted by a fan about currently being, as he says, sucked up in public. This is definitely the funniest song on this mixtape, and I would say if you listen to the whole song without at least cracking a smile, I don't think his music would appeal to you too much in general. This is not just a song about being sucked up in public, it takes you there, allowing for vicariously immersive and impactful bars you won't find anywhere else.
Bro, what the fuck? Why are you getting sucked up?
I'm glad that there aren't actually any sucking noises, because that would make it a bit more gross than funny. And Lil B is nothing if not tasteful.
Suck my dick outside a car. I'm a superstar. Yeah, bro, it's Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bro, I'm a fucking nerd, right? And I got fucking all the bitches, yeah.
And finally, the number 1 song on this 855-29 bass freestyle mixtape is Revenge of the Nerds, presumably named after the old film series. Now, I'll be the first to admit that this song isn't as funny as number 2 or as catchy as number 3, but it is the best song that doesn't rely on an iconic instrumental or a captivating chorus, and truly encapsulates the versatility that Lil B could bring to a freestyle. It's not a perfect song. I mean, I don't particularly like how he short circuits about calculus at the very beginning, but you get everything from Lil B playing multiple characters to his trademark laugh to whatever is going on at the end there. And there's no shortage of catchy and oddly motivational sound bites in this one. That's perfect for anyone studying for a math exam.
What are you gonna do, bro? I'm gonna go study. What are you gonna do, bro? I'm gonna go study. What are you gonna do, bro? I'm gonna go study. All day. All day.
I was a bit off further than there. Let me try again. All the bitches love nerds. All the bitches love nerds. And he's right. I mean, I guess these days everybody's kind of a nerd. Or maybe they always were. Well, that's the list. But I hope you don't get the wrong impression of Lil B, just because he raps about drugs and sex a couple hundred times. By the way, did you know that Lil B is an author? He wrote something that's sort of a hybrid between an autobiography and a self-help book. So I find it. I go to a random page, and I kid you not, it's a page where he renounces all drug usage, specifically marijuana. So I was thinking, okay, he's one of these artists who did a lot of drugs when they were young and then sort of like mellowed out when they got older. But no, this book was published in 2009, the same time frame as most of these songs. So it just goes to show you, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, and you never really know what the BasedGod's true intentions are. And if you disagree with my list, or you think I have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay. I don't even really like rap. I mean, I like to think that I have an eclectic taste in music, but it's mainly just alternative rock and trashy pop songs from the 2000s. But that doesn't mean this is my first time listening to Lil B. Of course I've heard of the classics like Stealing from Strippers and 1000 Bitches. You know, the one song that kind of sounds like this. I fucked 1,000 bitches. I fucked 1,000 bitches. Okay. Slow down, BasedGod. Overall, I would say that this mixtape has a little bit of something for a lot of people, and a lot of nothing for most people. As influential as he is, I don't think Lil B put together this mixtape to win over any new fans, as much as to give a bit of a treat to those who've been with him from the beginning. and organize his discography. So while I don't think listening to this whole thing was time well spent, I can't say it was wasted. I mean, I got this video out of it. And I think in a world where life can sometimes feel really serious, it's nice to have a reminder of absurdity from time to time. But I don't think Lil B really cares what I or anyone thinks. And that is especially based. Thanks for watching. Later.